and welcome to Members on the Mic with the Troy Chamber of Commerce, where we connect with Troy Chamber members as they give us a glimpse into their company and share some of the business lessons they've learned along the way. Hi, everyone. I'm Tara Thompson-Cusack, President and CEO of the Troy Chamber of Commerce, and I am joined today by the amazing co-host and Vice President of the Chamber, Sheila Dunstead. I don't know why I gave that echo.
I was going to do the same. Hello.
Perfect. First, I'd like to take a moment and thank our presenting sponsor, Trion Solutions. Stay tuned for our very first commercial break where you can learn how you can rely on Trion. We've got an amazing show lined up today. So Sheila, why don't you do the honor of introducing our first guest?
I would love to, and I'm very excited to. Today we get to meet Michelle Choice, Sales Manager with Fogo de Chão. Did I do it right?
Very good.
Okay,
very good.
We've been practicing. Michelle began her career in hospitality industry in 2009 when she completed the Disney College program in Walt Disney World. She completed her bachelor's in hotel, restaurant, and tourism management from the University of Wisconsin Stout. During her undergrad, she worked for a Cater Source conference in Las Vegas, studied abroad at the University of something Spanish in Palma, Spain.
I was waiting to see if you were going to pronounce it or not.
Oh, no way.
Wait, but now I want to know, how do you say it? How do you say it?
Well, it's the University of the Balearic Islands, so when you say it, it's probably something I'll butcher too, but...
But it's not spelled that way. But it is in Palma, Spain, and she immersed herself in several hospitality programs. During her free time, Michelle enjoys traveling, spending time with friends and family, and her new husband, and her cat, Olive, who is turning 13 today.
Happy birthday, Olive.
Yay!
She's incredibly excited to be part of the Fogo family and her community here in Troy.
I sure am. Thank you, Sheila. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
You know so much about me.
I do. I don't know how.
Bum, bum, bum.
Stalker.
I know. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, I've known you for a while, and I just adore you. And Olive, I adore Olive as well, which you do know. But I want to get started. Obviously, we have some questions, but the first thing I always like to say, and I know you're probably sick of it, I crack up now every time I hear Fogo de Chão. How do you say it? And explain to me, like, where Fogo's name came from, all the above.
The best is when you answer the phone and you are obviously the restaurant and someone tells you, wait, you're pronouncing it wrong. Oh, okay. So it's one of those things where it's not pronounced phonetically, because Portuguese is although very similar to Spanish, it's not Spanish. So it is pronounced more of like an SH sound, and the DE, kind of, it's all combined together. So Fogo de Chão.
Oh, do it again.
Fogo de Chão.
Very fancy.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
All right.
I usually focus on the Brazilian Steakhouse part, because when I answer the phone, people are like, wait, I think I called the wrong restaurant. Like, no, you didn't.
I just like that they correct you. And you're like, no, I don't work here. It's fine. You're right. You're right.
It's good. After a year and some months, I've gotten used to it finally. So I'm focused on the Fogo part very, very much so when I answer the phone. But it's great. It's a great learning experience, not only I think with people here in the chamber, and then also just generally people, helping them, learn a little Portuguese in their life.
I love it. Well, tell us about your role. What do you do there?
So I am the sales manager, which I think is like a very open-ended, broad title, right? As you can tell, I am not very sales specific. I'm more of a personable person. I love to, get to know my clients and people that are coming into the restaurant, and hospitality in general. I think I've been that way no matter where I've worked. So my role is obviously to focus on group dining, selling the space, selling the restaurant, getting people involved and understanding what we have to offer. But then I also am lucky, right? And I get this sort of like marketing piece of my job, or get to do fun things like this and get involved with the community and the local chambers, and be, again, kind of the face of Fogo here, in Troy and in the surrounding area. So it's fun for me because I get to be inside the restaurant and sell the space, and I love the food. So it's obviously an easy sell for me. But then
teaching Portuguese.
Yes.
As
teaching,
well. Okay.
Teaching, there's a lot. There's a lot under sales manager. But then I get to do this really great fun, like out of the restaurant, and getting more opportunities to connect with the community and share what we have going on. Yeah. So that's a dual part of my job, I guess.
So you do everything, is what, like,
I do.
Not everything. Like, you're not taking other people's jobs away, but you do
No. But I think it's great because, the restaurant's been here in Troy now 4.5 years, and I still come across so many people that don't know where we're located, don't know that we're in Michigan. They think we have multiple locations and we're the only one in Michigan. So that's kind of a unique part too, where it doesn't matter how long really the restaurant has been there, right? Still a baby compared to a lot of what Troy has to offer. But in general, it's fun because I get to share so much with people that have no idea what Fogo is or what we offer or how to pronounce our names. So that's going to be a running theme of this podcast.
I love it. I love it.
Well, actually, it's funny you talk about that. I was at Fogo de Chão a few weeks back on a Saturday night, and the line was out the door. It was packed. It was a scene. It was so much fun. But with that being said, it's post-pandemic, I believe post-pandemic. How's staffing? How's the comeback been for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely good, right? Considering the last 2 years, I would put us on a very high end of that spectrum. We've seen some crazy things the last 2 years, and I'm so thankful and grateful and proud of how we've recovered from that. Obviously, I think staffing is going to be one of the common threads of what restaurants have experienced and hospitality in general has experienced. But it's great because we're finally at a point where we can have a lot of people in our restaurant and have back of house, front of house, dishwashers, gauchos for us. Our kitchen is a little bit unique compared to some other restaurants, but have all of those pieces that can accommodate and take care of a large group of people. Now, we're lucky. There's days where Monday lunch is busier for some reason, or, a Wednesday night, I have large groups in along with the regular diners, and we're still a restaurant. We're still going to experience people calling off and people not coming in. And so I'm not painting this perfect world, right? Obviously, those things still exist. But looking at what the last 2 years have been like, I'm really grateful to say that we've seen the light at the end of the tunnel there, and we're getting really close to having the amount of staff that we want. There's still some work to be done. The biggest part of it is training now, because you're coming into a restaurant or a hospitality world where you no longer have those longtime servers. The people that worked in the industry for 25 years and made it their career, they said goodbye in 2020, and I don't think they're coming back. Mm-mm. So that's definitely one of the things, be kind when you go into restaurants or anywhere, because you're dealing with, a younger generation that is learning the world of restaurants, and maybe the world of restaurants and dining out is changing with that, what your server, your experience is like. So training is definitely a big part of it, but the fact that this many people want to come out and work in this industry makes me excited, because there are not many people who would actually want to come out and be in this industry right now. So I have to say thank you to the younger generation. You're out, you're pushing for it, you're coming in, you're working, you're training, you're putting the hard work in, and I'm so grateful to see it.
Well, they were all smiling when we were there, and that made it even more fun for our group. You hit on something real quick, and I just wanted to divert for a second. What are you seeing for lunchtimes in Troy? Are you starting to see the groups coming back? You starting to see more people come in?
The last 2 weeks have kind of dipped down again, but yes, it's amazing to see over 50 to 60 people coming in for lunch. Yesterday it rained, and rain is usually always good for Fogo. It's a ironic thing, but it's raining outside. You want to just sit down and relax. You're not in a rush to get back out into the wet mess. So you just hang out, and it's always, the weather in that sense is a good thing for Fogo sometimes. So it's great to see, anywhere from 50 to 60, upwards over 100 for lunch now. And I think that's a good commonality to showing that the corporate office world is finally on the return. I know that some of them, I was just looking through Facebook and saw there's a local office where they're not returning. And so all of the stuff is up for grabs. And I was like, oh, that makes me a little bit worried, but I can say safely, lunches have come back in that way that it makes me very excited to see. Again, you said post-pandemic, right? We're going to agree that it is post.
Yes.
And that's a part of it. There are offices that are bringing their groups back. And, we've hosted some law firms and had some groups come in on larger party sizes for lunches, which is, again, a really great thing. So good news for Troy, and good news that lunches are on the return.
Yeah.
Wonderful to hear.
Gonna say one step at a time in this, obviously, as we're seeing this go, but we're going to utilize the word post-pandemic. Post.
Absolutely.
Let's hopefully move forward. But with that being said, guys, let's take a quick little break and hear a word from our presenting sponsor, Trion Solutions. Stay tuned.
There are things you can rely on in this world, like your dog being happy to see you, coffee getting you through the day, and the government changing business regulations. And when it comes to navigating those regulations, you can rely on Trion and its team of attorneys. Trion can also tackle time-consuming HR tasks like payroll and employee benefits, so you can stay focused on growing your business. With Trion, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTrion.com.
You can always rely on Trion.
Welcome back to Members on the Mic with the Troy Chamber of Commerce. We are joined here today with Michelle Choice from Fogo de Chão.
Very good.
Was I okay? We're going to keep saying this over and over. I'm learning Portuguese as we go. Obviously, you guys are a very unique style of restaurant. So while a lot of places you can just pop in and grab it to go, you can actually still do that there as well.
You can.
All right. So
Yes.
these are the
Yes.
things that people need to know about. Can you tell us a little bit about what makes Fogo unique?
Absolutely. And thank you for
the
asking that question.
longest question ever.
There's a lot of things that make us unique.
Bacon.
Right? Yes.
Oh,
the candied
bacon.
bacon. Yes.
Oh, the bacon
Yes.
is insane. Oh, those little bread things with the cheese in it. What?
Pound de queijo.
And those are gluten free.
Those are gluten free, and so a lot of people, especially when I chat with them, and they have dietary restrictions, or everyone, right now we're on special diets or gluten or celiac, whatever it is. There's a lot that we can offer, and I think people think Fogo meat sweats can't go in, like that. There's a weird synergy where that's just all people think of is, well, I can't eat that much meat. And my favorite things, right? One, the market table, which is,
my gosh.
It's my favorite thing on the planet.
an amazing spread of meats, cheeses, charcuterie styles, soups,
Bacon.
You are the only
Bacon.
person I know of that has caper berries.
caper berries.
Delicious.
We have dragon fruit. There's so many exotic items that you can't see. And maybe if you weren't going to try it, hearts of palm to me is one of the greatest things that to some people are not that exotic, but they're so delicious. And a lot of people wouldn't try it. And you can come in, guilt-free, just take a bite, try one, see what you think. So the market table is definitely a fun, awesome option. And speaking of lunches, you can do the market table for $15 right now for lunch. And I don't know how that makes us a little unique. I've talked to a lot of people. There's not very many options in the world right now that offer you that much variety for, $15. And then you can add in the meats and
That's where you get the veggie and bacon sweats?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe the cheese bread sweats.
Cheese bread
Because once you eat one, it's just you can't stop, and they'll keep bringing them to the table for you. And so be prepared because
They're so good.
they're so good. But then the other thing that I, look at, and I have to put this plug in here from a group dining perspective, we're one of the few restaurants that will allow you to make a 15 or 20 person reservation, and that's, to me, that's huge because we are, again, post-pandemic, right? Wink, wink, post-pandemic, that these groups want to come back in and celebrate. And we're in the midst of graduations and communion season, and being able to come in and celebrate with your family and friends is one of those things I think was so hard to give up in the last 2 years, right? Nobody wanted to graduate or celebrate a birthday because it was taboo to be seen together with too many people or host something. And so now it's great. We're welcoming those back in like full swing. And so we can accommodate, we have the staff for it. You can go on Open Table and make a reservation. And please, we encourage anyone to come in and don't be afraid to come in with your 15 plus groups. We want to see it. And then you have, this array of a menu where this is my favorite thing. You can have, picanha, the Brazilian top sirloin. You can have chicken, you can have lamb chops. You can have shrimp cocktail, you can have salmon. There's so many options. It's not just meat. There's so many other options that I definitely think that sets us apart. And it's one of my favorite things. And then first and foremost, we are the only Fogo in Michigan. So if you're looking for something fun to do and you haven't been, obviously, Sheila and Tara, thank you so much for being Fogo fans. But if you haven't been, you got to try it once. We are the only Fogo de Chão in Michigan, and I'm so proud of what we have to offer here in the heart of Troy.
So while you described a lot of the very cool things in the variety, there is a big difference between a normal steakhouse and a Brazilian steakhouse. Fundamentally, what is that difference?
Well, you don't have to choose just one protein. It's not, an a la carte menu style where you have to choose just one protein. But I think a big part of it stems from the Southern Brazilian culture and how they dine. And a lot of the sides that you see in our restaurant are not your typical, they shouldn't be, right? They're not your typical American steakhouse. And so you really can immerse yourself in Southern Brazil for, a night, a weekend, whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're celebrating. You have some of these classic items that, of course, every American loves to eat, but you get to have a little fun. You get to immerse yourself in the Brazilian culture for the meal. And I think that's one of the most amazing things is that right here in our backyard, you have this option to come in and try, caramelized plantains and crispy polenta with Parmesan and the pound of queijo and some of these Brazilian cuts of meat. And you don't have to just select one. Of course, yes, we have a full menu to choose from. You don't have to come in and just do, the full churrasco experience. But
what's a churrasco experience?
So fire roasted meats, baby. So Fogo de Chão, this is also a fun thing. So it means fire on the ground. And so, you're, cowboy days, right? You come up, you rope up your horse, you walk in and you've got, meats cooking over the fire. You sit down and you're ready for that yummy, gristly piece of meat that comes off of the fire. So that's churrasco. Think of it. You love that old charcoal smell of the barbecue in the summer. And that's what gives this meat such great flavor and definitely worth a visit,
And I am now starving.
I was just thinking how you have to wear stretch pants when you go there.
That's a good, we should put out some pointers for the first timers.
FAQs.
Yes. I know everyone says, don't fill up on the market table. Save
No,
yourself.
so
Save yourself.
hard.
No, it's funny. I love obviously the meats as well, but that market table and literally when you're like, you can try new things, I could see Sheila's head going, and the bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon, delicious.
Well, on that note, it leads me to something else that's one of my favorites besides Fogo de Chão is that, Tara, did you know?
Oh, I love the Did You Know segment. So Sheila, what are we going to learn about today?
Well, we are going to learn about how to get more out of your chamber membership.
Woohoo!
Things like joining a committee like Michelle, the Young Professionals, or a BDG, Michelle, like a BDG.
Yes.
Or maybe a women's business forum, or maybe an ambassador. Those kind of things are included with your Troy Chamber membership. It's a great way to take advantage of your membership benefits, get to know the members better, and to ingrain yourself within the business community. So that's where I defer to Michelle again, because she does quite a bit of that.
I was going to say,
for
I
us.
could do check.
There was not one on the list that she's not doing.
So take advantage of your membership. So that is my Did You Know?
Oh, well, thanks, Sheila. That's good to know. And now you know, too. I want to do that. And you know, too.
And if you have questions about any of those Did You Knows, contact me because I can talk to you about all of them.
Well, actually, that brings me to my next question. Since you literally were listed in every single thing Sheila just said, obviously you're chairing the YPs, you're in the Women's Business Forum Committee, you really understand and thrive in a chamber membership. Can you tell us a little bit about how you utilized your chamber membership and how it's affected your business as well?
It's funny because when I attend some of these events, I really do notice that I'm primarily one of the only hospitality or restaurant focused places that have someone continuously representing them. And I do see, obviously, we have a lot of other segments in the chamber. And it's just, to me, it doesn't matter what industry you are in, you can find a way to benefit from what the chamber has to offer. And so, of course, chairing the Troy Young Professionals group, I'm so proud to bring that back after the last 2 years. It needs to be brought back to life, and we have such an exciting year of an events planned, and I'm so excited about the one this month. Definitely, check out what we have going on at the Troy Chamber website. But then from there, right, you're part of any industry. There's either a committee or a business development group, which is the BDG that Sheila mentioned. They meet at different times. Maybe a morning schedule works for you. Maybe an evening schedule works for you. There's really something inside of the chamber that you can fit into your schedule and have those smaller connections. I've chatted with a lot of people, and if I go to one of these events and there's 60 people there's no way I can connect with them in an hour. And that's really where these smaller committees are a great place for you to meet with 10 or 12 people, really get to know them. And I'm so thankful I have friends out of the chamber now. You know, it's one of those things where it's way beyond that. It's so great to be a part of something that's in your community, connects you with your local people in your backyard. You have, you know, a financial advisor person, you know, someone who's selling cars, you know, who can help with HR, who can help with payroll. And that's across any industry. We all need those people, right, in our pocket. And so if you don't have it anywhere else, you know, find your local chamber, be a part of the Troy Chamber. It's definitely one of the places where I've not only connected and found friends, but have really been able to showcase my industry. And I know anyone else would be able to do that as well.
And I love actually having your guys' company be brought up. So when we're at events and it's like, oh, Fogo, I love it there. And it's just kind of cool to see too, because a lot of those introductions to your restaurant was made from you. So it's very cool to see how it.
I'm a proud face of Fogo. I will add that to my resume and to my bio, Sheila, so we can have that on the next podcast. The face of Fogo, Michelle Choice.
It's probably easier
And I
to
can
say
say
that.
it, All right, Michelle, what else? What else is coming? What fun things should we watch for at Fogo?
You know, they're working really hard. There's some new locations that we just opened in Coral Gables, Florida.
Oh, nice.
They renovated and reopened one of the original locations in Sao Paulo. So it's really exciting to see a brand that wants to continue its growth. And hopefully I can eventually say there'll be new locations closer to us. But for now, just keep an eye out. We're going to, you know, kind of refresh and bring in some new items. We just relaunched the Bar Fogo lineup. So we have some fun appetizers. We had some Troy Chamber people there to help us. And so, yeah, just keep an eye out. Even if you've been before, there's always things that they're doing to revamp the Fogo menu, got new craft cocktails. We'll be working on some new uniforms and some fun things down the line, along with the kind of the way the brand evolves in the coming years. And so, yeah, even if you've been, keep an eye out because there's some fun stuff coming to your Fogo in Michigan.
All right. Well, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
One last tidbit for our members. What can you tell them to help them get through the day?
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, tidbit for the day. Take a deep breath. You know, no matter what it is that's going on, there's bacon on the horizon. So just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, and the bacon will find you.
All right. Thank you, darling. I appreciate that one.
That is the best nugget I've heard, I think, ever on the podcast. So, and you made the nugget of bacon
to make it either like bacon related or cat related.
I know. And both get to my heart. So well done. Oh, thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us on Members on the Mic. Obviously, we have just loved working with you, and it's fantastic to have you here today. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, ladies.
Thank you.
And again, I'd like to also thank our presenting sponsor, Trion Solutions. We couldn't have done this without you. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us. For more information on some of our upcoming events, how to join one of those amazing committees that Michelle is pretty much on all of, go to troychamber.com or reach out to us. We'll see you again soon. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.